The Deekay Knight was a British two-seat cabin monoplane designed by S.C.Hart-Still and built in 1937 by the Deekay Aircraft Corporation at Broxbourne in Hertfordshire, England. The Knight was a conventional-looking low-wing monoplane with a fixed tailwheel landing gear, powered by a 90 horsepower, 67 kilowatt Blackburn Cirrus Minor piston engine. The aim of the Deekay company was to develop an enclosed cabin side-by-side two-seat aircraft. Its proof of concept radical new wooden wing would later be developed using plastic materials. Its unusual wing construction used 4 spars and interspars instead of ribs. The wing was made of wood with a stressed plywood skin. The wing abandoned the standard spar and rib construction in order to produce a strong but thin aerofoil section. Instead, it consisted of 4 full-span spars with plywood diaphragms between and narrow, replacing ribs. The 0.8mm plywood skin was screwed to the spars and reinforced by the addition of eternal stringers on both the upper and lower surfaces. A further innovation was the hinged leading edge, which could be opened upwards to allow inspection of the control cables run along the front spar. This feature would have been necessary in a future moulded wing, which would lap the usual access panels. The ailerons were also ply covered, but the split flaps inboard were of metal beneath a plywood covered trailing edge. Along with its fixed tailwheel, the undercarriage was notable for its fully faired, deep chord trousered, that's a nice description, main legs. The 8 feet 2.4 metres track main wheels used compression springs and oil dampers for suspension and had Benedict's wheels fitted with Palmer brakes. The fully enclosed cabin featured a 2-piece sliding canopy, allowing independent access to either side of the cockpit from the wings. The side-by-side seating was fit with dual controls and basic instruments. The aircraft had a spruce fuselage frame, ply covered except for the upper decking, which was fabric covered, and the tail unit was a ply covered wooden frame with fabric covered elevators and rudder. A 20-gallon fuel tank was located in the fuselage behind the cabin seats, with a baggage compartment above. The Knight's wing was tested at the Royal Aircraft Establishment at Farnborough. During tests, the root fittings, but not the wing, failed at 12.3 times the weight of the aircraft. This is well beyond the target load factor of 9. Following these tests, the prototype Knight could be built and flight tests started. It originally had been intended to fit an engine of US design, the Aeromarine AR-7 100 horsepower radial, but this did not enter production, so the Cirrus Minor was selected instead. So the prototype with the construction number 237/1 was registered to Golf Alpha Foxtrot Bravo Alpha on the 3rd of August 1937, and it's made its first flight in November of that year at Broxbourne in the hands of test pilot E.W. Jock Bonnar. Testing appears to have been successful and certainly proved the concept of the low weight, low stress wing. The intention had been to gradually replace structures or components with plastics following testing and approval. However, the Deekay company became increasingly involved in other forms of plastics development at the time, when the focus of the aviation industry was rapidly changing as World War II approached. A rumoured batch of 6 production Knights never materialised. The rapid growth in the new plastics industry and Deekay's investment in it led to the company changing its name to Aeroplastics Limited in 1939, and they were eventually absorbed into Fairey. So the Deekay Knight fulfilled its primary purpose, but there's no further development, and sadly it was scrapped during World War II. So if you're into this kind of stuff, please have a look in the description of this episode for other aircraft I've covered during this really interesting period between the wars. And finally, thanks for watching.